So in our Synapse Studio, you see we have different things connected, a couple of which being Pendo and Salesforce. Much like the two, it's a pretty standard OAuth flow. If you want to see what that looks like for Salesforce, come in, you add your endpoint URL, you put in your user password and token and authenticate. And of course, Pendo is largely the same way. You give it an API key method, you put in your key, you authenticate and go through that flow where you ask for your credentials, everything put in okay. It's going to give you an authenticated and you have the option to make the Synapse active. Once you've authenticated in, you can come into the Schema Studio and take a look at both Salesforce and Pendo. You're going to see all the objects and the fields that relate to those objects inside of the Schema Studio. All those are read automatically from the tool. So here you can see plenty of the objects we have in Salesforce. This goes through a massively long list. And then, of course, we can see the objects in Pendo as well. So accounts, visitors, page, features, guides, and the subfields that attach to that. For instance, account includes agent. That is a part of that there. And I believe visitor also includes agents as well. Great. So this is where you can see everything that's being brought in. We're not actually looking at data yet. We're just talking about the types of information we can bring into Syncari. If we want to actually set up the process for how to hook things together and what might be a good use case for that, we can take a look at the Pendo enriched lead entity that I made here that does just a couple of things, right? What we're doing is dragging visitors from Pendo and leads from Salesforce together, and we're joining them inside of our merge studio inside of Syncari. So we're checking to see if the visitor agent email matches the email coming in from Salesforce inside of Syncari Core. If there's a match, they start to get joined together. The criteria we have to join them is dictating that Salesforce is always going to be the master record. So for instance, Pendo records will only attach to Salesforce data. Otherwise, we're not going to join anything together. This is to make sure we don't overwrite or potentially push any strange information into the lead inside of Salesforce. And this is just to get that information into Salesforce. From here, we're not doing anything extra yet. We're just saying, hey, there's something in Pendo. We have attached it together and we're going to push that information into, whatever fields you like in Salesforce. That's entirely configurable inside of our field mapper here. Okay, if we want to do something a little bit deeper, we can actually start to set some automation. And so here's one example of that. If we go into our first visit pipeline, this is a field that comes from a Pendo. This is looking at that visitor's first time they encountered whatever you have operating on top of Pendo, right? So we grab that information, we bring it into Syncari, and once we have that merged and attached inside of Syncari Core, we're performing a couple of operating date functions to determine what's going on. So one thing that we're doing here is in this date difference, we're comparing the last visit time to the first visit time. And if that difference is greater than 10 days, we're sending reminder emails out to the email just registered in Pendo to either ask for feedback or invite them to come back into the platform. And of course, any sorts of automations you want to do, leveraging the state information, whether that's either triggering them into a sequence in some other tool or pushing certain reminders or notifications into Salesforce to reach out to this person, you could set something up, say, hey, if there's been 30 days on top of that first visit, terminate the trial if you have that set up in a separate system as well. So any sorts of further automations you want to do to that can be set based off these variables. And of course, setting up these field pipelines can be done to any sort of subfield as it relates to this visitor lead object from their respective systems. And we have the ability to set any sorts of automations, routing, deals on that make the most sense.